Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today in my basement. We'll be talking about a nice little DIY project with the VintageView wine racks here. We'll discuss how I designed this wine niche, what kind of materials and supplies you need to do it, and go over some more details of the product here. You've probably seen these wine racks in bars, restaurants, or vineyards. There's literally dozens of ways that you can configure this product and customize it to your space. The company is called VintageView. A little bit more about the actual wine racks. They're made of all metal. They're powder coated. These are matte black, but you can get a variety of different finishes. I think there's chrome, nickel, bronze. There's a couple new ones since I finished this project here actually. The actual wine rack itself, you can do single depth bottles, double or triple. We did double here to kind of fit the size of this niche. This product is called the W Series wine rack. And there's a multitude of ways that you can install this. I actually opted for the floating configuration here, which requires a little bit more customization. The simplest way to do it is just to buy the wine racks, and they come in a multitude of sizes, anywhere from 1 foot up to 4 feet. And then you can stack as many of those as you like and bolt those directly to the wall in any kind of configuration. But to do the floating configuration that we have here, this actually comes in a kit, and there's 3 parts. You have the actual wine rack, and then in the middle you have a frame that comes standard in 10 foot high. And then behind that you have the backer that kind of stabilizes the whole thing. When you buy the kit, it's actually meant to be bolted to the ceiling and to the floor, and it can be a room divider, or it can be, you can get a double-sided version. There's a lot of different options there, but you actually have to cut it down to size. And then in addition to that, I purchased a 2-inch kind of standoff bracket that allowed me to bolt it to the wall and give it this floating appearance. So regarding the design of the niche here, just to give you a little bit of reference, the basement ceiling here is about 10 foot high. The interior dimensions of this niche are 7 foot wide and about 8 foot high. So I left a foot above and below to kind of frame this in. The depth here is about 15 inches. I tried to plan it to accommodate the double wide bottles and kind of keep it as flush as possible here. We actually had this designed when we built the house, but this is something that you could easily frame in with 2x4s and drywall on an empty wall in your home and kind of replicate this. We also ran LED lighting around about a 2-inch setback niche all the way around, so that the lighting was completely hidden, and that adds for a nice effect as well. And then finally we added reclaimed wood here from a old horse fence that was in the backyard. You also want to make sure you add wood backing behind your drywall or whatever else you have backing your wall here, either the whole way if you're bolting the wine racks directly to the wall, or in this case we just had to add it along the top and along the bottom, because those are the only 2 points where these racks are bolted in. So that part of the install is a little bit easier. Once you configure your layout and figure out how many racks you need and purchase everything, the next step is to actually lay everything out on the basement floor. The instructions are really good about showing you exactly how to measure and where to cut for this particular configuration here. And again, each one of these racks comes as a kit with all 3 parts that I talked about. In addition to that, you have to buy the standoff brackets. You'll need 4 for each rack. There's 2 brackets on the bottom here connected to the wall, and then 2 standoff brackets on the top connected to the wall. And those set the whole rack off from the wall surface by 2 inches. So again, you lay everything out, measure. You're going to have to make several cuts using a metal chop saw. And that was my first time using a metal saw. You want to make sure you have a good sharp metal blade. You want to make sure you have eye protection and gloves because metal shards will be going everywhere. I made the mistake of doing it here in the basement, so it was a little bit of a mess. Probably better to do outside. And finally, mounting the wine racks to the wall is probably the easiest part. You'll need a helping hand to hold the rack steady. And then I just screwed these in. I screwed the brackets in on the top and the bottom using 2.5-inch wood screws. I wanted to make sure and go through the reclaimed wood, the drywall, and then all the way through the wood backer to make sure that it was stable. But these things are pretty steady. They're not going anywhere. Overall, I think the project turned out great. I think the most difficult part probably is the conceptualization phase and measuring everything. But they actually have a dedicated design team online that can help turn any vision into a reality. But like I said, there are dozens of ways to configure this. So hopefully this video kind of helps you visualize what I did and what some of the possibilities are. Other things that I like about the wine wall is the label forward design. The bottles are actually tilted slightly towards the cork to help prevent that from drying out. And again, just the level of customization that you have, whether you want to go single bottle or 3 bottles deep. I mean, really the possibilities are endless. Thank you for watching today. I'm going to put links for all of these products and some more detailed info in the description. I'll also be available for any comments, questions, anything else that I can help with regarding the VintageView wine racks. And I also have a lot more content coming with DIY projects around the house. Please subscribe and follow along. Thank you.